want to welcome you all this evening. I've got a special speaker today that will be motivating us, encouraging us as we've come to this stage. She's one of my, I would say, she's not even one of, she's my closest friend, that we've been friends now, almost, if not up to 10 years, almost 10 years. I think we're even actually up to 10 years. And, it's a long history. I'm not going to be able to go into it, but all I know is that this is a divine friendship from heaven, and it's just God. May, these are prayers. These are people that they said you will have a friend who is more than a sister. I can tell you that I've got that friend who is more than a sister. And I'm just appreciative of her life, where she is coming from, her story, what she's achieved over the years. It's absolutely amazing. And honestly, I must invite her one day to actually tell her journey, because it's mind-blowing of where she was, where she is, and where she's going. So I just want to use this opportunity. Today we are going to be doing we are in week 11, and we are going to be looking at case studies. Now, I've been rolling my head around how to make this work, and I hope what has come up is something that we can use. So your life is worth fighting for. So get in the ring of life and fight for your victory. When I wrote this down, I was like, absolutely, our life is worth it. We are here now, and who we are and who we want to be, all our life experiences, all the things that we have been through, they are not in vain. They are all part of the package of who we are now and who we need to be in future. Because I've always said this here, we are here to serve and be served. So as you're serving others, you too are being served. And so that's why you really want to ensure that the life that you were meant to live on earth does not pass you by. And that's why I said life as it can be. But even though it's life as it can be, it's still in your hands. Nobody can take that from you. And so that's what I just want to really share with you this evening. So today we're going to be looking at, we'll do a recap and all things like that when we get started. But for now, I am just going to welcome Lydia. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and Lydia is going to share hers, and she's going to take it from there. So I'm going to spotlight you, Lydia. Are you ready? So
yes,
a few minutes. Okay. So well, yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you, Tola. Great to have you all here, and as more people join us. Okay, so I'm going to. So before Lydia starts, I'm just going to say that a really big thank you to Lydia for, this moment and what she will be sharing with us, and how she, I don't know what direction she's going to take. So I'm just going to leave it over to her. But I just want to say really thank you for being here, for being a great friend, being a great sister, a great Christian sister, very encouraging. And I really must say, God has been good. So thank you. Okay, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Tokumbo. What a privilege. What a privilege of God to have met you. So I won't go into long story, but I say exactly what she said about me is what I would say about her. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this session. And also, I would say it's really appreciated that people started this course about almost 3 months back, about 11 weeks ago. And the commitment to read, people turning up is just phenomenal. And it's a sign of somebody who is going somewhere. So I definitely know that each and every one of us on this platform are going somewhere big. So if we can give ourselves a round of applause. Well done, everyone. Right. Tokumbo has taken us through quite a lot of teaching on knowing ourselves, and we went through quite a few topics on knowing ourselves. We looked at values, we looked at vision and mission, we looked at gift and talent, beliefs, habits and patterns. These are all areas of life that we need uh, to accomplish whatever it is a goal we have or whatever we want to achieve in life. So I'm going to say everything she's looked at. We've looked at the benefit and the cost element of each and all those areas. We've looked at preparing yourself, and we've looked at how those things can, some of them can hinder us, some of them that are strength are something that we need to build on and continue to work with. So today I am basically going to be taking us further from where Tukumbo has taught us in many ways of looking at a lot of aspects of our life that we probably have taken for granted or not looked at ourselves. So transformational change. And most of what we've talked about in the last 11 weeks are transformational change. They are changes that if we key to it and make those changes, there are changes that would definitely change where we are and take us to where we want to be, which is the whole essence of coming on this training course, is to enable ourselves to know what we need to know, to take the action we need to take to get to where we need to get to. And that I will call is the transformational change. So today, I'm going to be looking at steps to achieve our goals. What we need to do after we've heard everything we need to hear regarding knowing ourselves, regarding preparing ourselves, and then rebooting our life. So taking it to that level of now identifying that we do have some changes to make. If I can have all of us to put something in the chat, if we have one or two or three changes that we know we need to make to move us forward in life, in our goals, in all that we want to achieve, all we've been called to do. Please put in something in the chat. Let me read about what changes you are proposing to actually make. Yes, let's put our changes down. Let's put things in the areas we are sure we are going to work on for our change. Let's put those areas on. Okay, I've got a few here. Um, I think to complete unfinished project, that's Tokumbo for us there. Lara says timing, I have allotted time to task. That's great. To organize my finances better and be aware and proactive about incoming and outgoings. Yes, great. To be consistent and timing by Ronke. And Imojo said she's organizing and being proactive. Sorry, I didn't mention the name there. And I said I'm going to be working on my gift, talent, habit, and pattern. Great. So from what we've just done there, it's definite that we have some changes to make, and which looking at what I've got on the screen here, we've got change there. So we have all identified areas of change. We're clear about those changes that needs to be made. So once we've written all that down, then we can now look at how are we going to make that change? What do I need to put in place for those change to happen? Whether it's something to do with your time management, it's something to do with your finance, what exactly are you going to do? You've identified the change that needs to be done. What are you going to do? So whatever change we choose to make, we need to now put in an adjustment. And this is where you write down what exactly you are going to do for that change to happen, until you actually give yourself that goal to write down what you're going to do, make it smart. I'm sure we've all heard of SMART, which is you're making your goal specific, you're making it measurable, so it's something you can measure. So you are saying to yourself, this is what I want to do by so time, so we can measure it. And you know how far you've gone with it. You're going to make that goal also, is going to be something you're going to take action on, what action you are going to be taking. Is that goal realistic? Because there's no point you saying that I want to get, if your finances is on an income of say 2,000 now, and then you're saying, oh, by the end of the year, my income would be 1 million. Yes, maybe if you win the lottery or something miraculous happen, but on the basis of setting goals, that would be an unrealistic goal to set for yourself. So it has to be timely. You have to put a time to it to say, this is when I want this done. And the beauty of having your goals like that is that you would have a focus. You would have something you're looking towards. There is a goal you want to achieve. Your focus will be direct on that. So by you having that focus, it means that you know what you're doing part time. You can set your timing, you can set what you're doing, you know when you said you want to achieve this, and you can break that down to any kind of level that you want to break it down to. So having set all that, that means you are set for a new regime. You're set for something new. And when we say we are set for something new, it means that we have to begin to see that new change in you. So somebody that want to be proactive with their spending, they can see they've done their budget, they've put it down, they know what they're doing part time, so they can now see where they are. And that's your new regime. That's the new place you're going to be. Of course, we all know that change, to make a change, is something that does take time. It takes consistent, it takes being dedicated, it takes being focused, and that will create what I will call a shift. For every one of us, that shift will be different according to how we work with things. We are shifting from what used to be to this new thing we want to happen. And most of the time when somebody is creating a shift, it takes a deliberate effort. It takes something deliberate from you to achieve that. I'm sure most of us have heard people saying that if you want to change anything in your life, you do it consistently the same time for 21 days. And after 21 days, it becomes an habit. Um, I have tried that several times. And I found that on the 22nd day, 23rd day, I might still be able to retain my shift. But by the time I look at a month, I always see that I'm drifting back to where I've adjusted from. So a shift is something you need to keep your eyes on. Constantly keeping your eyes on, deliberate. So you're deliberately keeping that shift where it is. Because what really does happen when we have any change is that we're telling our mind that I used to do things that way. I no longer want to do it that way. I want to make a new way of doing things. I have come to a new regime. But unfortunately, our mind has done whatever it does for however long. For some of us, it's since childhood or whatever. So it's got used to that, that even some of those things becomes an autopilot that you don't even have to think about it for it to happen that way. I'm sure most of us can kind of agree with that, or have experienced that. So because it's a new shift, it's something new we're doing, we have to constantly work on the shift. What we're shifting, we have to constantly keep our eyes on it, keep our thought on it, be dedicated to read, set it as something that you constantly work on all the time. And it's only when you do that that we get to the place of transformation. Then you're being transformed because you've stopped the old way to bring in the new way. And as I said to you earlier, the old way would want to fight you. So to really get to a transformation in life, or a place of being transformed, it's a fight. And like Tokumbo said earlier when she made the introduction, you have to fight for that position you want or what you want out of life. It has to be a fight. So if you hear of anybody saying they've been transformed, they've done a lot of hard work on their mind, on their thinking, on their do's, action they take, being consistent, doing the same thing all the time, being dedicated, being focused on what it is they want to do, to be transformed on. That is what brings you to the place of transformation. Right. When you get to the place of transformation, most people think that is it. Oh, yes, I am transformed now. I know what I'm doing. I've got what I want to get out of this. I am there. Then you come to where we call transition. You have to make that transition um, by actually sitting down to look at it again, to look at it, what you've done, and come up with what are the benefits of where I have made my transition to. What are the benefits of me staying here? What would it cost me if I don't stay in this place of transmission? I've made that move now. And that is where you put in your modification. You now modify where you are to know what is new about this new place. For instance, somebody who says they want to change, they want their income to change from 2,000 to 5,000 pounds. By the time you get to a place of transition and you get to a place of modification, you must look at yourself again, because it's not the same you that was used to 2,000 that is now in 5,000. So you need some adjustment there again. You need to modify things. You need to look at what that means. Does that mean that now that I'm getting 5,000 pounds every month, or 5,000 whatever dollars every month? Does that mean that I just when I go out I just spend because I think I'm earning more than what I used to earn before? No, you have to modify things. You have to now look at things. What will keep me in this place where I am? What things can I put in place to ensure that I am where I am now, that I don't go back to where I started from? So modifying your situation, modifying the goals, modifying your achievements is very, very important. Keeping yourself in that place where you fully understand where you are right now, and you fully understand what could take you back to where you were coming from. So guarding against those things. So once that modification is a comfortable place for you, then it means you have made your change. Glory, you have definitely made your change. And you have been transformed not only by the actions you've taken, but you have also achieved a lasting change, because by this time your mind has now got to that place of accepting that Lydia no longer wants to be a person earning £2,000 a month. She's now a £5,000 a month person, and this is who she is now. So the change is accepted here after you've gone through the cycle as I've gone through it. Right, which takes me to my next slide. The way to get started in everything I've just talked about is for us to quit talking about it and begin doing. We've gone through that cycle. You can use that cycle for yourself to map out how you're going to go on the journey of the change you want to go on, but definitely begin doing. You've dedicated yourself to 12 weeks of spending 2 hours, sometimes it's a little bit more than that, every week on doing this course. So you've kind of put an investment of time. You've kind of deprived yourself from other things and chose this instead of something else. You have made up your mind that you wanted to reboot your life, and you have identified areas where you need to reboot your life in. So you need to get going and do something about it. Let this not be something like, I've done that 12 weeks course in that, and we just drop it. Actually do something about it. And I am saying to you that if you can dedicate the 12 weeks you've dedicated in this so far, in beginning your change, you would accomplish that goal you want to accomplish. Right. So that's what I am sharing with you.
Lara has a question in there.
Okay, I was just going to put questions there. I'll go into the chat to see the question. Sorry, do you want to read it for me? My chat is not, for some reason.
Okay. So Lara said, can one say he or she is transformed if one has achieved some of what they set out to change? For example, if I say I want to make $2,500, but ended up with $1,500. Did you get that?
So she's not reached her goal.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, if you've not reached your goal, you should be able to have a reflection time. Have a time of reflection where you sit down and say, why didn't I reach that goal? What hindered me? What could I have done differently? Because for you to have set a goal of 2,500 for yourself, you must have seen it, which is what I was saying when I said you get to a place of newness. After the shift, you're in that place of new thing. And that place of new is a place of vision.
Absolutely.
So you have to be able to see what you want to achieve. And vision is about image. You have that image in your mind. You've written it down. You've looked at areas where you think this amount you want to achieve is possible. So, for instance, if I give myself as an example, if I set myself that I want to make 5,000 every month, I have different streams of income. And each stream, I know what I want to get from that stream to come in. Then I now set myself what I need to do for that to happen. So if from what you've just discussed, that did not happen, I have to sit down and modify things. Reflect on things and modify things. And see if was it because something that I could not work on, was that why I didn't achieve it? Or was it because I didn't follow the goals I set for myself? So these are questions you need to ask yourself. If you're satisfied that you've done everything you need to do, and that's where you find yourself, then so be it. But you need to go ensure you've gone through that reflection time, that modifying time, that time of saying what hindered me. What could I have done differently? Does that answer you, Laura?
Yes, kind of. I'm just throwing my thoughts around. You
Yeah.
know, when you say, when Tokumbo's sessions, one that mentioned dream big and assume everything that you need to get to achieve or get to a post, a particular position is in place. You know, what will it be? So along the line, if I don't meet it, as you said, I have to reflect. And yeah, if I've gone through all the things that I need to go through, you know, and see that, well, this is how far and how best I've done. I guess that would be another mind reflection again. Is it that my strength is strong enough? You know, I'm just thinking all around.
I kind of catch that. But again, in any goal we want to achieve, we must come back to that place of reflection. We must come to that place of looking at what hindered me. Why couldn't I do it? Was there anything that happened at that point in time? Because there might be a justified reason why you couldn't do it.
I agree. I totally agree, in the sense that also what I would just like to add there as well is, when we set goals for ourselves, even though we set dream big and it's having the big picture, you know, just like when you start to reflect, you are breaking them down into smaller chunks that are achievable, so that you can say, okay, this big thing that maybe you've given yourself with the $2,500, you've given yourself maybe 2 months to achieve it. But then you can break the 2 months down into 8 weeks and say, okay, for the first 2 weeks, I want to make sure that I reach maybe $500 in the first 2 weeks. What can I do to get me to $500? You know, and then you can look at it that, okay, I've now, so you tick your box. So even by week 2, you already know if you're going to be on track or not. Because if you've not raised any money, you can reflect on those 2 weeks and say, why haven't I achieved it? But then if you've achieved the 500, you can look at it and say, well, if I was able to make 500 the first week and first 2 weeks, and then you go on to the next 2 weeks and you make another 500, you can look at both of them, just like Lydia said, reflect what worked each time that I can just repeat over and over again. So that could be a method in which you can use to take a big dream and break them down, so that way it becomes easier. Because sometimes when we look at the whole big picture on its own, it can be overwhelming and we can shut down. So when it comes to finances, you can break it down and say, if I can make £10 today, then what did I do today to make that £10 that would make me make that £10 again tomorrow? And then automatically you've conquered the £10 challenge, because you know exactly how to make that kind of money. So it's the same thing with everything.
If I can just add to that again, you know, at the beginning when I was talking about setting that goal, I did say you use SMART. Also ensure that that goal you set is realistic. Is it realistic for me to make 500 every week?
Yeah.
So that you need to put into consideration, because if it's not realistic, you set it for yourself, you don't meet it. That's why you didn't meet it, because it wasn't realistic.
Absolutely.
Tokubo just plugged it in. Actually, I forgot the parts where you did say we should break it into chunks. You know, so it's more like the bigger picture. Now breaking it into chunks, you can like say, okay, first week, what do I do? Did I achieve? But
it makes it easier.
Yes.
Great. Any more questions?
I think there's one there that I saw. Okay, let me read that. So, okay, if you have incorporated the steps you need into your approach and beliefs and behaviors consistently, then even if material consequence isn't fully reached, but to an extent is outside of your control, then I feel self-transformation has occurred, but goals may need to be evaluated and adjusted. Okay, so she's making a comment that, so I'll read it again. If you have incorporated the steps you need to into your approach and behaviors consistently, then even if material consequences isn't fully reached, but to an extent is outside of your control, then I feel self-transformation has occurred.
Yes, absolutely.
I agree with that.
I agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So transformation is a journey. You know, so it's somewhere that we are moving towards. And as you're moving each day, you've been transformed from something already, just by taking the steps.
Right. Thank you very much for listening. I just have a little quote for us here. The only limits you have are the limits you believe and have set for yourself, really. So we can all achieve anything we want to achieve if we don't set any limit in place, if we follow a system that Tokumbo has taught us and how I've said we work on our goals today, we can achieve those things with God on our side. Thank you very much for listening. Tokumbo, thank you so much for giving me the platform.
Thank you so much, Lydia. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So you can see what she said. Transformational, honestly. In everything that we've done, starting from week 1, there has been transformation. Even with me, I've been, creating courses and running courses, but this has been so different. It's so transformational in the sense that not only am I teaching, I'm learning. There was so much that I've learned in just putting it together. It's taken my confidence to a whole new level. Why? Because I know that if I get stuck with anything, I know how to go about it because I've been doing it consistently every week for the past 11 weeks now. And so I know with confidence that I can put things together. So, just like Lydia said, it's transformational. And every week there was something new that I kept on learning that has boosted my confidence. And I know that everyone that is here today, as you start to look and reflect and look at the transformation that has already happened in your minds, because once the transformation starts to happen in your mind, you are beginning to move forward and make progress. And you will never be where you were before. For me, I can never be where I was before. So that is real, complete transformation that is already happening. Even you just clicking and showing up every week is a transformation. Because I've seen, a lot of people, they will start things and they won't finish. And, I put my hands up with that. So you saw that the first I wrote was uncompleted projects. Because I have so many, I'm a creative and I'm having to teach myself to, as a creative, to finish things. Not only am I a creative, I'm also a starter. I love starting things, but I always would struggle to complete things. But over the last 1 year, I've been going back to things that I need to complete. And so doing this is a big thing for me, in completing. So I just want to say, Lydia, thank you so much for that session. And if anyone still does have any questions to ask Lydia, you can put them in the chat section. If she can't do them today, we can then look at them on Thursday if she is available. So I'm going to quickly share my screen. Now, what I'm going to be doing today is very experimental. So you're all going to bear with me. My creative mind ran wild. When we first started, we did Know Yourself. And when we did the Know Yourself, it is know where you are now, know who you are, know how you function, know how you show up in the world, how people see you, how you see yourself. Everything is all incorporated into knowing yourself. How do you like things done? How do you like to see things? It's unlimited to know yourself. So, and you remember we went through everything from knowing you, how you relate with your family, how you relate with friends, how you relate with colleagues, how you relate with people, strangers, everything. Because see, the more you know you, the more you can control things that are happening in your life. You know, I was talking to one of my boys today, and I was just saying to him, I said, you will always, without fail, every single one, and I'm saying this same thing to us, every single one of us will find ourselves on the mountaintops of life and in the valleys of life. It is going to always happen. You're going to have those times where you feel that, you know what, I can take on the whole world. And then you're going to have times where you're going to think that I just can't even face the world. But I tell you that the more you start to learn how to deal with your mountaintops and your valleys low, the problem is that a lot of people feel that when they're in their mountaintop, it's so exciting. Mountaintops can be dangerous as well. Let us not just think that valleys are the only things that are dangerous and sad. Mountaintops can be dangerous. There have been people who have been so excited that they went out to enjoy themselves and never came back home. Because they were so excited, they had maybe won a big contract, they went out celebrating, they got drunk, one thing or the other happened because they are so happy and something happens. So let's not just think that in life, oh, the things that, the challenges or the things that happen in life only happen to us when we are in our valleys. If we don't learn how to manage our mountaintop seasons, it can also turn out to be a challenging time. And it's the same thing with the valley low. You know, when we get to the valleys low, you might find yourself being more motivated to actually get out of things. That's why some people find their best times in their valleys low. In their mountaintop, they're celebrating, but in their valleys low. So what I just want us to think about today is, how do I learn to manage my mountaintop seasons and my valley low seasons? How do I make the best of it? So I want us to really think, because that way you are learning to control yourself and own who you are. Okay, so I'm not gonna kind of look at all these topics, we've got them there, but I just wanted to put them. So we're gonna look at the first case study. Now, with these case studies, unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to record them. So as I'm doing the recording, I'm gonna cut some of it out because I'm using videos, you know, movies and things like that on YouTube, and I don't want to send it out to people and it goes where it shouldn't go. So what I will be doing is, when I'm sending out the weekly activity and the videos, Lydia's one will be in there. There will be bits and pieces of things that you might find in there, but I will put the links to all the videos. So if I say values, there will be the video that will go with it. And then you can just take the link and go watch that video again if you feel you need to. Now, what we're going to be doing with these few case studies, there's quite a few of them, so I'm going to keep to time and see if we can actually go through them. Also, you will bear with me just in case there's a few hiccups here and there. It was another busy week, so I should have taken my day off from Monday. But anyway, let's see how we go. So what I want everyone to do as you watch these videos is, I want you to write things down that come to your mind as you watch it. That's really what we are looking at today, is when this comes, because if we want to go into conversations around it today, we probably won't finish. So what we're going to do is, when you're watching this video, just write whatever comes to your mind and jot it down. Now, we can bring some of them to the Thursday session where we can have conversations, but I want you to really write down whatever. You know, it might sound ridiculous. You're not really sharing it if you don't want to, but I just want you to write them down. Some of them I got spot on because I was still, you know, kind of juggling around how these case studies will work. So you might find this one a little bit, you'll be able to pick a few things here and there as we go along. So what I've done today is, I will be opening quite a number of the browsers. When we finish, I'll try and lock it off, and we'll take it from there. So everyone bear with me. So let's go. So I've got this one. Now, this is the first person. And if you look at it, when we were talking about values, I don't know if anything somebody wants to put in the chat section, maybe write one or two things that you got out of this that you feel could relate to values. So after watching it, what do you think could relate to values? We are going to discuss these also in the mastermind session, but what jumped out to you in this particular one before we kind of look at others? Anything come to mind? People matter, absolutely. You see, when you have values, you've got core values, because when you look at that gentleman, when he first came out, what kind of person was he? What kind of person would you say he was? You know, the first time you saw him, you know, he was in the lift, you know, all the things that happened. What kind of person, you know, would you say he's a man that has developed values for himself, or has no values, or had not thought about it? You know, what would you say? Yeah, unpleasant and unhelpful, very mean. So can you see things like that? But when did the change happen? So you can, if you want to speak, you can speak, please. You don't have to only write in the chat.
So when he supported that old woman.
Yeah, when he did he want to support her?
No. So I was just thinking, and maybe he's not aware.
Yeah,
He never really had any knowledge. Maybe he didn't interact. Relationship, really.
Yeah.
No relationship with anything, you know.
Yeah. I think when I'm looking at this video now, I think personally, looking at this video now and having this conversation, I probably would have put it under behavior. So when I'm doing it in May, I'm going to put this one under behavior as well. Can go for values, but it can also go for behavior. So yeah, but I think so as well. So due to time, so you can just put it in the chat section or you bring it in later. I'm going to look at the next one. So this was around values. And remember, we talked about, you know, having your core values and things like that. We're going to look at vision statement. So I've just put the vision statement here. And also the vision statement is the big picture of your whole life. This is everything you're looking at. Whereas with the mission statement, it's more of the breaking down, the mission, how you're going to achieve your vision. Even though if you go online, you will see a lot of people, you know, use both of them. But it's actually a bit more of what's the mission going to look like? The vision is, this is the destination, this is what we want to achieve. But what the mission is going to look like, what's that journey, what's all the makeup, all the components that will bring that vision to life. That's really what the mission statement is. So I'm not going to go into both of them, but I'm going to look at the next video. But what that video was about, so what that video was about was these ladies, it's from a movie called Hidden Figures. And these ladies saw the vision, the bigger picture. And this lady that was in it, she was a secretary. And the girls she was talking to, they were also secretaries working under her. And they were all literally working for NASA. So you can imagine how big NASA was. But she was a woman of vision. What she saw was, she mistakenly, I just can't play the whole scene, but she mistakenly went into that, if I can remember the scene, into where the big, huge computers were. And this was already inside of her. So she had a gift. So there's a whole lot of things there. But when she went in, she saw what it was and she saw the future. And because she saw the future, she knew that they are going to need people. Even though she should have told herself that who would want a woman at that time and then a Black woman? But what did she do? She went back to her girls and she literally started training them. She trained them for the future. And there are other scenes of that movie where you will see them when the time came and they needed help with those big computers. Herself and her team had turned from secretaries to programmers. And they were on ground, and she took all of them straight into the programming world because she had a vision. She could see what people could not see. So what comes to mind, you know, now that I've explained it, what comes to your mind looking at that scene? And this is something that I'm going to really work on when doing the May one, because then I'll have enough time to kind of really put these videos together. But today we're just going to make do with what we've got. But what comes to your mind as per seeing her that she saw the future, but not only did she see the future, she prepared for it. So what, in your own life, what do you think?
I think,
Anita, I know you said you've watched it. Oh, who spoke now? Was it that Anita?
I was going to say.
Okay, Lydia, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say a vision is something. She saw that vision and she saw it. It became a graphic thing in her eyes.
Absolutely.
In her mind, it became real.
Yeah.
Because that's what vision can do for you. You have the graphic picture, and in your mind, it becomes real. And when something is real and you can see it as well, you're provoked to take action.
Absolutely. Anybody else? Did anyone write something down? Let me see what's in the comment section. Okay. Leadership and passion. Absolutely. She's a leader, because not only did she want it for herself, but she also wanted it for her girls. And that's the same thing in our lives. A vision is bigger than you. And you remember, we come back to that dream big. You dream big in your living room if you're just thinking about only you. Dreaming big goes beyond you. Dreaming big is, vision is power, absolutely. When you can see it, you can achieve it. For me, there was this word that came to me a few weeks ago. When you can see it, you can receive it. See, it's not just receiving something physically, it's receiving it in your mind. She looked at this. She didn't know how to use it. You saw her going through the files and started reading. And that is what vision needs to be for everyone. I was trying to find a word that is the opposite of gatekeeper, because she brought everyone with her. Absolutely. Absolutely. She brought all the women. Even where there's a scene, that was the one I thought. There's a scene where she told all the girls, everyone get up, come with me. Do not take your calculators. Where we are going, you won't need it. Totally transform them. So yes, risk, courage, absolutely. She took the risk. That's why I said that I'm so excited with this session. Now that I have the understanding, I'll sit down and put these videos together that gives us an understanding. She took the risk to say, you know what if they don't use us? So that you will see where I'd said sometime in one of the weeks, it's better to be prepared and not have an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. One of the biggest things that I've seen with a lot of people is that opportunities come and they can't take it because they are not ready for them. Be ready. And if I've learned anything in life, there is nothing you learn, there's nothing you acquire that is ever wasted. It's never wasted. For me as a Christian, I find out that there's nothing I learn that God will not bring an opportunity for me to use it. Maybe that's the best way I can put it. So, okay, so the next one, I just chose it. It's all about beliefs, habits, and patterns, as we all know. So I'm going to put that one up as well. Again, just keep writing things down, what comes to your mind. So we all have the videos, so we can go back and look at each one of them. But what I would explain, here he was playing basketball. And remember I talked about inherited things, even though this is slightly different, but I still want you to keep in mind inherited. Now, the boy is playing basketball and the dad said to him that he shouldn't play it anymore because, or not that he shouldn't play, but he shouldn't waste his time. That was the word the dad used. Don't waste your time playing this basketball, because when I was a young boy, I wasn't really good at it. I was good at many things, but I wasn't good at playing basketball. And so you don't waste your time playing basketball. This is not one of the things that you're good at. And you saw the little boy's reaction. He just threw the ball down because this is dad speaking. And then he picked up the ball and put it in the bag. And the dad just had that moment that, what am I doing? And he then turned to the boy and told the boy, you know what? Do not let anybody tell you that you can't do something, not even me, your dad. And if there's anything that I've learned about life, is that there is nothing that we can't do. And let's remember the gifts, the talents, and the skills. Some people don't have the gift for it, they don't have the talent for it, but they can develop the skills for it. Some people, they have the gift for things, and then adding skills of other things would make the gift even shine more. And the same thing with talents. So I don't know, whatever came to mind for you, we were talking about dream big. You are going to meet people, and I've done it so many times. I've done it, and people have done it to me. And we have to start to learn and teach ourselves that we don't burst people's bubbles. We don't burst our own bubbles by saying that, oh, my dad, my mom, or my siblings or something, they couldn't do it. How can I? Remembering that even if you're not gifted, if you're not talented, you've got to believe that I can do this and build those habits that would make it happen. What's his name? Michael Jordan. He didn't turn out to be a fantastic basketball player until he practiced every single day. Usain Bolt did not become the fastest man on the road. If you go into go and read his story, you'll find out that there was a time he was an average runner. He had been running. He had been showing up for the country, but he was an average runner until the day he decided to change things. And then Usain Bolt became the person that the whole world wanted to know. So it's the same thing with every one of us. Dream big is about you seeing yourself so much bigger than the world might be seeing you now. And then you start to walk into it, just like what Lydia said, transformational change. You start to move towards that dream because you keep on pulling yourself towards that dream. So I don't know if anyone has anything they want to add, to that, or something they noticed. I saw someone say, influence and power, who do we assign it to and at what cost? Need to bring it back into ourselves. Let people enjoy their interest, whether anyone else thinks it's cool or not. Absolutely. Even if it's for fun. It's your life. You can enjoy it. So anybody got anything to add there? So the next one then is the gifts, talents, and skills. So I've got a video for that as well. So these videos, I want us to kind of really think about how they can be helpful to us. So with this one, and let me just take out of this, the screen keeps on, and I need to, it keeps on there. Now with this one, I had first put it inside challenges because that's where it was, but I saw another one. And now why I put it here was that this young man had a gift, and his father, I want to believe, didn't even believe in it. But now he's seen it as a gift because, it's not a talent. It's not something that anybody else in his household had, but him. And even though he had this accident and life had changed, the gift still was there. And, there's a Bible passage that said you should stir up the gift within you. A gift never goes away. Even though he's had a major, and you can mix this with challenge, even though he's had a major challenge, his gift is there. It's going to be there forever. And he's good at it. Now he has to find another way to make this gift work for him. And I think this is the same thing in our lives, that for some of us, we have these gifts on the inside of us, and challenges or things might come our way that wants to kill the gift. But a gift can never go away. You just have to now learn how to use it in a different format. Somebody who has a gift for dancing, and for example, maybe they can't dance anymore from that perspective, might decide to teach, might decide to even dance with their hands. We've seen footballers that they play football with their hands. Some they play football with they learn to play football with the walking sticks or the crutches. Nothing can stop any of us from doing whatever we need to do when you have a gift working on the inside of you. So I just wanted us to think about that, is that nothing can stand in the way of your gift. So, but anyway, with this one, it's also about mindset, how you see things, how you view things. And in this lady's case, the husband was building an ark in the middle of town. Now, I don't think any one of us will be any different from her. If you feel that it's so easy for you to believe, even if you're not married, maybe a friend or family member, a sibling or someone is telling you that they are to build an ark in the middle of town. How many of you would believe that? It's so easy for me to believe that. Anyone?
No.
What is believable for you?
I don't know. I think people's beliefs, well, I think we've all got different beliefs. We've all got different ways of viewing things.
Absolutely.
How one person views something doesn't mean that it's wrong. It's just that we're brought up in a certain way, and it's not just to do with upbringing, it's also environment as well, and what you see. So it's a combination of factors that have an effect as to how you deal with something and how you think it may turn out.
Absolutely.
I'm going to let somebody else speak.
No, that's okay.
Because I don't want to take it.
That's okay. No, it's just thinking. He got her thinking. He got her to look at something from a different perspective. And that's really what the mindset is. It's a growth mindset, is you open up that person's mind. And what really stood out was when, and I've seen this, I've read it, and I think it's, I don't know if it's happened to you, but when you ask for patience, truly, how are you going to learn patience? It's going to be from somebody that is going to rub you all the wrong way. And that's how you learn. My son, my first son asked me all the time, why are you not getting upset with my daughter when she does some things? And I go like, it doesn't bother me anymore. I correct her where I need to. But one thing that I do know is that what I've taught her, when she gets older and she needs to use it, she doesn't need to learn it because she's learned it already. And I said, so that's why I don't get worked up anymore. I kind of just work with her and show her things and get her to do it. And that's the way, it is. So yeah, let me read the chat. So I had to switch data. Okay, missed the, okay, that's all right. Yeah, so let's see. I might take one more. Take one more.
Sorry, the last one was what, mindset?
Yes, the last one was mindset, and it's just thing. Everyone will bear with me with these videos because I was going with something else with the case studies before I got this. When I was trying to use my own head knowledge to do it. But so some of these videos, a few of them, I'll move them around because they can actually work on the two, but one is stronger than the other. So, but as you're listening to them, if you feel that this one would go better for challenges, apply it to challenges. Like that young man, he went with his gift, but he also could go with challenges because he had a life-altering challenge. And I put it under challenges, first of all, when I saw another one for challenges, and I decided I wanted to use that, but I still didn't want that one to go. And that's why I put it in there. Okay, so we've done money. I'm not going to do money right now because I feel that the video is not the strongest yet. So, but this is the one that I chose for challenges, which was, let me see if I can put, this one is more of a picture thing. So even if the wordings are not there, you can really read the picture. Yeah, sorry.